welcome back to Daily Stand-Up. So in this one, I'm going to try to experiment with something with cues. And basically what I want to try is compare the performance of published batch by sending in an INumerable of 20,000 of my engine model class here. So you can see the data that's going to be sent to RabbitMQ. So I'll go ahead and run this, and it's going to publish that in a batch, and I'm going to get the just the milliseconds it takes to do that. But then I'm going to try to publish the same amount of messages up to RabbitMQ, but except I'm going to break it up into 5,000 element chunks, publish those as a batch on a task, and then executes the task in parallel. So it kind of works out well because there'll be 4 tasks. And I'm just going to see, I haven't run this yet, so I just really want to see what happens. And I thought it'd be kind of a cool experiment to do on the channel. Obviously, the code is just throwaway code. I'm just really trying to experiment with what happens if you publish batches up to RabbitMQ in parallel. So I'm going to go ahead and I have a breakpoint set. Alright, I'm going to set a breakpoint, and I'm just going to step through this. And I think it's, oh, what is that? I added a new endpoint. What is that? Multi-queue. Okay. I need to, I don't know what port this is running on. Alright, so it's running on 56061, and this is going to be home. What's the route? Home. Multi-queue is the route. Should be it. No, wait, what is the sending? Oh, whoops, get home controller out of there. Alright, and then let's go ahead and step through. I'm still so not used to Visual Studio on Mac. It's so different than both Rider and Visual Studio on Windows. I really have to switch to Rider. I'm going to do that soon. I can't keep using Visual Studio for Mac. It's such a bad experience. Alright, so I'm going to go. Oh, I probably shouldn't. Oh, hold on. I messed it up. I didn't want to step through that because it's going to. I started my stopwatch when the breakpoint was on there. That's fine. I'm going to. Is it still running? Is it still trying to publish in batch 20,000 messages to Rabbit? It must be. Well, that's actually interesting to see how long that takes. Yeah, it stopped. Okay. I shouldn't have. Okay, I'm just gonna let this run. Mainly just I want to see if it errors out. Me trying to, because I never have tried that, sending batches in parallel up to RabbitMQ like that before. Honestly, I just want to see what works, and if there's any performance gain that you can get by chunking out your data and then publishing them. Okay, I have to redo this obviously because I stopped, but it's good that we didn't get any errors. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my queue and delete all the messages, and I'm going to come back here. We should see 40,000 because we're sending, again, 20,000 one time and 20,000 the second time. So I'm going to go ahead and run this without any breakpoints, and let's see what happens. Is this done? Okay, let's call this again from Postman. Send the multi-queue. It's going to take a bit, but again, I'm really interested to see the performance differences because honestly, I don't really know what to expect. I mean, the first time we ran through, again, I had my breakpoints accidentally paused on when I created my stopwatch start, so that's obviously not going to be accurate. So this time it's just going to go through. Okay, so we got the batch publish 2,000, 23,000 milliseconds. Versus, it's taking a while. I would assume at this point it's taking longer. 20. Oh, sorry. Wait, that doesn't. What? Wait. So 20 milliseconds. I might have to just use like a benchmark framework, but it's just so much easier just using. I mean, I recognize that I have this. What? I'm trying to make sense of where it's stopping because, well, that's very interesting results, at least for the performance side of it. I'm going to go ahead and move something. So I'm going to stop this. I'm going to, I guess, put this at the top before I do all my. I'm not going to include the chunking, like the skip and take. I guess I can include adding the tasks, but it shouldn't be. It's, where is it? What is it taking so long to do? That's what I want to know, because there's such a big gap of time that we saw that happen. All right, let's run this again. And you can see 40,000 messages in my queue. I'm going to go ahead and purge those messages. Interesting. Okay. Let's go purge those. All right, so should be able to refresh. Should go down to 0. Okay, we purged all the messages. Let's run this again, and now we need to see where this is hanging up, because it posted faster, but there was like something was going on here. Because if this is indeed faster to publish in batch by breaking it up into smaller chunks and then executing in parallel, that's a really good thing to know. I just have never tried it, to be honest. I've never had a batch size big enough to justify splitting it off into parallel tasks. Okay, so we get 25,000 milliseconds. So something is it when it's creating the, it can't be, because I'm not, oh. Yeah, parallel batch. So I'm so confused. So, okay, well, so it's a little bit faster, but it's very fascinating. Probably not enough to justify like going through the work of breaking the stuff up, though. I'm gonna run this again. I'm not gonna clear the queue. I'm just gonna run this. I just want to so if you can read that, it's 21,232 milliseconds versus 25,687 milliseconds for the batched publish versus the parallel batch publish. So the parallel batch publish completed at 21,000 versus the batch publish that's completed at 25,000. So a little bit of performance gain, but I just want to see because this should be returning a task unless it's not actually. It's almost publish batch. I wonder if, because it says that returns a task. The task which is completed once a send is acknowledged by the broker. Is it? I wonder if it's. I almost wonder if we're not even sending him in parallel because that wouldn't make any sense. Why? Yeah, because it's clearly. That's fascinating. Status ran to completion. Yeah. Okay, well, we might be discovering something that's. I'd like to see what this code looks like for a publish batch task. I'm not going to be able to see that. We may have to rework this a little bit. Okay, so I found an interesting bit of configuration that you can do on MassTransit. Evidently, if you see this publisher confirmation is default set to true. And it says enables RabbitMQ publish acknowledgement so that the task returned from the send publish is not complete until the message has been confirmed by the broker. So the reason why I think I'm getting confused is if we go over to home controller, it was waiting for an acknowledgement and returning a task completed from every time we did this publish batch, regardless if we awaited or not, which is fascinating. So I turned that off, and then I'm going to see what happens now. I'm going to run this again, and I'm going to see what the performance is like now. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that endpoint again. I don't want any breakpoints anywhere. So there's no breakpoints, it's just going to run all the way through. And we've consistently been getting 25,000 milliseconds for just the single published batch with 20,000 messages. And okay, so that one got, that one actually clocked in at 16,000 milliseconds for the single published batch of 20,000 records. So it's still, it would appear that the, okay, yeah, the parallel batch is still, it's identical performance, 16,037. Something, this should be, that's so interesting. I wonder if, is there anything else we can, I mean, there might not be any performance gain with MassTransit doing this in parallel. We disabled that. We disabled the publish confirmation, which increased the speed a little bit, but we're still, that is so interesting. Because those should be, I don't know why those are completing their task and then we're doing, huh. Must just be something I'm not aware of. What's, we can try, I mean, the send. I have to change. Alright, let's give this, I'm gonna restart this. I changed it to this, to use send as opposed to publish. I'm gonna go ahead and see the performance of this. But honestly, stuff like this is really interesting because this really brings out a lot of problems that you can, oh my, what happened? It's probably yelling at me because I'm trying to send. Oh, yeah, okay, because it's expecting me to send. The convention of the message type was not found. MassTransit. I think it's because it's expecting me to send a single message and not a list. Oh boy, so that's not going to work. Okay. Man, this is something. Okay, well. I'm gonna add in another variation of this because I want to see what else we can do. So I'm gonna add in, oops. Basically, I'm going to get rid of these tasks and get rid of the tasks here. And now what I'm going to do is let's just make, I just want to make another copy of this for myself just to make sure that I'm not mutating this in any way. Let's just give it a horrible variable name. Let's do a for each item in, oops. And I'm literally going to do await bus dot send item. And we're going to fire that off and let's see how fast it takes to loop through 20,000. Alright, now I'm going to restart that and let's see what happens. Back here and let's go to our queue. I don't think we have any breakpoints set. And let's see what we get for numbers this time. Yeah, honestly, the configuration is like half the battle for all this queue stuff. It's fun just to experiment with like different ways to not only squeeze more performance out of your queue, but just see how you can break up your messages and change the structure to honestly just try to mess with performance and see what you can do. Oh boy, what happened? The convention. Am I still trying to? We broke something. All right, I'll go. I'll just publish a single one. All right, let's go ahead and restart this, I guess. I should probably purge my queue. I probably have a ton of messages. Okay. Go and restart this. Send it. Hit the endpoint. It's extremely consistent at 16,800 milliseconds for the one shot published batch. The parallel batch is like a tiny bit faster at 15,000. So I think we've run this enough times to confirm that the parallel batching is like a tiny bit faster, but it's negligible. Okay, I forgot to change my string, but just the most basic loop, publishing a single message at a time, is the fastest at 15,377 milliseconds. So I think we just have to keep it simple. It seems like is what the case is. I was trying to read a couple threads, people kind of talking about this similar issue, with published batch being relatively slow, and seeing honestly better performance just with the publish method. So that's interesting. This is a lot of messages to be sending off in one go for a batch. So yeah, it seems like all of our micro optimizations kind of amounted to honestly nothing. So it seems like this is really the way to go. That's oh man, that's really interesting. I feel like there'd be something. Can we try something else? I don't know. I want to think about that. I'll probably make another video about it. But this was just kind of experimenting with this, so that'll be fun. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.